What's up guys, just here to quickly update you on how development of the island generator has been going. I haven't worked on it for 3 months. After working on it for 1 month since the previous video, I became satisfied with the results and decided I should put my time into other parts of the game. So a couple things that have changed. First is edge displacement. Instead of having perfectly straight edges along the edges of Voronoi cells, they now get randomly displaced, and to do this we take the midpoint of that edge and slide it along the edge's perpendicular bisector by some random amount, and then recursively do that a set amount of times for the created edges that the displacement caused. Another thing that happens to edges is, well, first off, we only do this for edges that are biome borders. That's going to save a ton of processing time. Now, another thing we only do for biome borders is random dithering that you'll see here. All that random dithering is going to do is blend the biomes just a little bit more along with the edge displacement, and it ultimately comes out to have a nice look. There's now more biomes. There's a lava biome. There's always going to be one lava biome. It's always going to be the tallest cell along the island. And then there's snow biome, which then transforms into rock biome, and that's where rivers come in. The way rivers work is by first calculating every point's steepest next point, and then starting with a random point inside the rock biomes, and then taking the steepest path until we reach water. That's why currently, once it reaches a lake, it doesn't have anywhere to go. So lakes will definitely have to come after rivers. We want the low elevation of lakes so that rivers flow into lakes, but then we also want them to be treated just like land so that they can flow out of lakes. The way the thickness of the rivers work is by doing the square root of the total points as traveled across. That's why it gets thicker as it nears the shore. So this is what the island looks like. Overall, the shape is just better than the previous island, and the biome colors, I've changed those to look more natural as well. However, with each feature that is added to the island, the processing time increases. I don't remember what the last video was, but this one was 700 by 700. We used to do 800 by 800 in no time, and now this took 65 seconds. You can see that 83% of that time is spent in the Delaunay triangulation. That's because that algorithm runs in exponential time, so we're definitely going to have to try to rewrite that in some more efficient way. The other major slowdown that came with these new features is placement. That takes 9% of the time. We know that the bulk of the time in placement is spent with networking, so in the last video, to counteract this, we compressed parts during rasterization. So we'd start from top left and go down in rows and move across and rasterize the island, but we actually switched over to flood fill. And what we lost in this was an easy way to say, if the next part is the same biome, just make it one part that's thicker, which is gonna mean we have to send less data over to clients, which is gonna make placement faster. But what we gained from flood fill is less bugs. So before launch, we'll certainly have to come up with a new way to compress the island's parts. And one way that we've already had to do this by replacing water tiles with nothing. So here's another generation, probably my favorite. Looks like paint was just slapped on, which is what an island is supposed to look like. We have a couple of more changes we want to make, as you can see here. And once we make some of them, we'll have another video out for the island.